I was very kindly gifted the Super Mega Ultra Edition of Diablo 4 by Very Very Evil Bunny, a longtime viewer and supporter of my stream, and I've now played quite a few hours of it. I've been playing Druid because I let my chat vote on which class I'd play, so of course, they chose Druid. I've also been playing Hardcore and using the most obvious build for that, Pulverize for damage, a bunch of stuff that lets me reduce damage I'll take, and stuff that gives me Unstoppable for dealing with crowd control. That's a real killer. I played through the story in World Tier 1, and am now playing in World Tier 3, having done the first capstone dungeon. It looks like I'm in the early endgame, and what I'm doing is what I'll be doing for the rest of my time with this character. As I play now, there's only one thing I'm thinking. Jesus God, please no! I don't want to go collect all those damn altars of Lilith. There's something like 150 of them dotted all over the huge map, and they give permanent stat increases to all of your characters, as well as contribute renown towards getting each area's permanent bonuses. I hate that this is a thing so much I can't even tell you. Makoko Seeds 2, Lost Ark Boogaloo. It's making me want to stop playing, because I'm pretty sure that if I set aside the time to collect them all, it will make me sick of the game. And if I don't collect them, I'll get sick of playing and just thinking about these fucking statues I haven't clicked. The whole time I was playing through the campaign, I was thinking about finally getting to the point where I can play Diablo. Kill monsters, get stuff, get stronger, kill stronger monsters, get stronger stuff. It got to the point where I always insta-skipped cutscenes as I was bored out of my mind, walking to one character, then walking to another, then walking to another, just to experience a nugget of cringe dialogue. Now I'm finally done with that, risking death only once from accidentally opening a menu. I'm confronted even more intensely by how slow this game is. It doesn't help that I'm playing Druid, but choice of character doesn't change the core design. I won't forget the horror I felt when I realized the Whispering Tree is Diablo 3's adventure mode, but you have to walk everywhere instead of teleporting into maps, arranged for quick completion. And the atmosphere, which is for sure very nice, doesn't carry it, especially not when you do the same event for the 5 millionth time. Yes, ARPGs are always going to be a bit repetitive, but that's balanced out by being fast and the sense of growing power you have. Slow and repetitive in a world that scales with you, so the sense of getting stronger only comes with key aspects or paragon nodes and glyphs. Ugh. Your character will pop off only when you get the thing designed to make your character pop off. At first, you might think the slower pace is interesting. It feels like it's going to play very differently to other Diablo games. Cool. But after a point, when you start to get your build online for real, you realize it no longer feels fundamentally different. It's just Diablo, but way, way slower. Now, the game is solid on paper. It looks good. For me, it runs well. It sounds good. Abilities feel nice to use in a vacuum, hitting monsters with them or popping them, as opposed to balance and numbers. They have a good effect. It is a premium product. It ticks all the boxes. And yet, it is somehow also aggressively mid. The weirdest thing about it, the feeling I can't shake, is that it doesn't feel like I'm playing Diablo. It feels like I'm playing a game designed to make me feel like I'm playing Diablo. Which I'm fully aware sounds completely insane. What does that mean? I'll do my best to explain. Most of my experience of the franchise is with Diablo 2. Oh no, I'm listening to one of these guys! Nah, don't worry. I'm not on the Diablo 2's the best, it invented RNG bandwagon. I just happened to pick it up at PC World as a kid because the cover looked cool and I got hooked. It was my first ever ARPG that played like this. You get told what to do in that there's a quest to follow, but then on your own you get interested in what items you could find, what you could do with your character, and so on. The, ooh, just one more thing, ooh, just a bit longer, comes from yourself. The way the game is makes you behave like that. Diablo 4 tells you to feel like that, but doesn't actually have what would make you feel like that on your own. Look at all these things on your map calling out to you. Look at the orange circle, better go do it. Here's a collectathon element. Gamers love doing that. Click all the statues. Be hooked, be hooked, be hooked, please be hooked. My motivation has nothing to do with what I'll actually be doing or getting. None of the systems are calling out to me in and of themselves. Legendary aspects? I'll grab the appropriate basic codex versions for my build and then see what drops. I find myself doing the dungeons mainly because they're in the current Tree of Whispers zone, the timer on which is ticking down, and I haven't ticked that dungeons aspect in my Codex of Power checklist yet. Keeping up with the world that's scaling around me doesn't have teeth for me. And now that I have access to Nightmare Dungeons, the thing you can push challenge on and gives you a reason to care about high power instead of just keeping up, I'm sort of over it. The leveling experience beat caring out of me. I don't feel like my character is part of the world with a certain level of power relative to what's around him. I'm not invested in making him as strong as he can be. He's just a tool to make me play more. My interface with the stuff that's begging me to do it, which ironically makes me want to play less. Don't get me wrong, it's fine. But the game's very much something alright to waste a bit of time with, rather than a creation worthy of obsession, which is clearly what it's trying to be. Their mistake, though, is not using the Diablo DNA to do it, and instead relying on elements that could fit into any other game. Generic engagement boosters, an imaginary man looking over your shoulder, pointing at the things you need to do. The flash, the style, the presentation is going to get old, and I'm not sure what's underneath is enough to hold interest after that. It has strong Far Cry or Assassin's Creed vibes to me. Obviously, the direct gameplay is totally different to either, but the world stuffed with discrete, bite-sized things to do leaves me feeling the same. A game where you're getting a bunch of stuff over with. I've got to say as well, even in taking this path, they've fallen a bit short. Repeated bosses in dungeons. Okay. Repeated bosses across categories of content though? Like the same boss in a stronghold and a dungeon. A boss you killed in a dungeon already appearing in a main story quest. They're trying to give the vibe of a handcrafted world alongside the more generative content, but the copy and paste is too strong. I mean, as far as I can tell after all the time I've played, the world events don't even change across regions. Same shit, different monsters. Which again, is par for the course in an ARPG. But here it's jarring because of the presentation, pace, and style. It's stuck between worlds. As a one and done, Diablo 4 is alright. But they're gearing up for seasonal content and battle passes. Unless they pull something truly spectacular out of their hat, I don't see myself being drawn in for another go-round. They were right that the game is well geared toward people who don't play these games, because the methods of hooking you in are so generic they could work on anyone. Though I can't even imagine a total normie who bought the game after seeing a bus stop ad getting excited to level a new character in a new season. Unless maybe they're the kind of person who wears an Assassin's Creed Valhalla shirt every day and has 100%ed the game 10 times. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.